Like, I don't really want to hear Chase Claypool essentially doing the Scott Steiner, I'm a genetic freak routine because the numbers don't lie, Chase, and they spell disaster for you on your next contract.
You beat me to
sorry,
the
that one was
reference.
for you, Josh.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, that one was for you.
I know.
As soon as he sort of referenced himself as like, just I'm built different, I knew I was going down the Scott Steiner road tonight, so I'm sorry that I telegraphed it so badly. But seriously, like Pony and I got into this today on the show, and so I'll throw it back at you. There might be Steelers fans who, because of how badly AB sort of burnt town, even though he had this marvelous career to that point,
right,
are maybe a little bit, I don't know, like uneasy when wide receivers on the roster start talking about what they want, what they think they deserve, etc. But say this for a guy like Deontay, for example. He has put in the work. It hasn't always gone well. He said the tape doesn't lie or the film doesn't lie, and I think a lot of people would say he's at least like top 25 or so in the league, right around there.
Top 10 in some categories, it's true.
Top 10, but I mean, I don't think I would give Deontay Johnson market-setting money.
I'm saying production-wise, just from last season, that's all.
Okay, but at least he's put in the work.
Correct.
He's worked with the tennis balls. There is some acknowledgement of where he has struggled. Juju just was not blessed with the kind of foot speed that was ever going to make him a number one wide receiver, the ability to create pure separation. I think Juju played like a tough dude here, though, tough SOB here, and I think I say that as the highest compliment. What has Chase Claypool done? Like, he also said on this podcast, I think I got better in year 2, but there were some plays that just didn't get made that, I didn't get. Maybe I needed to make more. But he said that last part where it's self-critique as almost like a flippant part of the criticism. Buddy, you got the same route tree that you had 2 years ago. Go route, slant route, bubble screen, occasional jet sweep. What exactly about the technical parts of playing wide receiver have you improved upon? I see none.
This is the one problem I kind of have with it. If he would have told me, or if he told me, but if he would have said in this podcast, my goal is to become a top 10, top 5, top 3 guy. My goal is to catch 90 plus for 1,300 plus, 10 plus touchdown. If he would have put it in that way, I think it would have been received a lot differently because it would have done two different things that you pointed on, or at least the antithesis of those two things. One, it would have proven that he hasn't reached that level yet and that there's things he still needs to do to get to that level. He did neither of those things. And I think that's what really counts against him. That's what hurts him the most. 412-575-2600 on the Borders and Borders hotline. John in Greentree, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
What's up, man? Hey, good win by the Post, man. I just wanted to say, good win by the Post, man. Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate the call. Was a good win. They beat the Cubs 12-1. It's the first time they won back-to-back games in 2 weeks. So, yeah, for no other reason. It's a good reason to be excited about it. Mark in Greentree, you're on the Nightly Sports Call. Hey, Mark.
Hello?
Hey, Mark.
Yeah, about Tampa Bay.
Okay.
I like Tampa Bay.
Nice city. I assume you mean the hockey team. They won tonight. They beat up on Colorado. Actually, I'm not sure if that game's even final yet, but they were beating up on Colorado.
No, it's not. It's 6-2. They just spot them a 2-0 series lead, Josh. Do you ever make the mistake, by the way, of calling the city Tampa Bay, even though it's just the city of Tampa? Because growing up as a sports kid, a kid who loves sports, I just always assumed the city itself was called Tampa Bay. Very stupid mistake on my part. It's actually just Tampa.
I probably do that once or twice a football season and probably 2 or 3 times a hockey season, now that you mention it. So thanks for pointing that out.
But in fairness to other Bay-related places, Green Bay, actually the city of Green Bay, not the city of Green.
Correct.
Which would be weird.
That would also be weird. Lewis in Louisville. This is fun. Lewis in Louisville, you're on the Nightly Sports Call. I almost forgot where I was.
Now, how does Tony ever get a word in on our show? The grass is blue here.
Nice.
Listen, in 1968, Danny McClain won 31 games. And 1962, Wilt averaged 50 points a game. Do you think anybody could ever come close to those numbers again?
The first one, I doubt it. The second one, I don't know. Chris, that guy in Golden State might be able to pull something like that off. You get Steph Curry out on the right night.
No one will ever play that many minutes that it would require, and everybody else is too good in the NBA. Wilt was playing against guys who were stiffs that wouldn't even come close to making NBA rosters. That is, I don't mean to denigrate the accomplishment. It's still completely insane, but come on. I think if Wilt was playing in today's NBA, he'd still be a very, very, very good player. He wouldn't be averaging 50 and 30 or whatever the heck it was.
It'd be like 25
By the way,
and 18 maybe.
I think Lewis in Louisville was insulting me for being so verbose and talking so much here, which is fine. But he brings up an interesting point about 1968 Denny McLain. I think Tom Glavine just said there is never going to be another 300-game winner, in his opinion, in Major League Baseball. That is going to be one of those interesting things to see how we judge pitchers from here on out, guys who are elite, top of the league kind of players, because, say, Jacob deGrom has a couple more spectacular seasons and stays mostly healthy. He won't even sniff 300 wins, not even close, and yet it'd be hard to argue against him as like one of the most dominant pitchers really of the last 25 or 30 years.
There's two things I can attach to that. Here's what we're going to do now. Before I even get to my answer, we will go on and call this our number one Cochran Go One Better call of the night, just from the whole historical aspect of it all. So congratulations to Louis for that one. Good call there. I'm going to attach two things to this. One, we don't see pitchers go nearly as deep into games as we used to, Chris. There's a lot of reasons behind that. We see batters that are a lot more patient. They're taking more pitches, and it's harder to go deeper into games before you throw in that 100th or 110th pitch. It's more now 6th or 7th inning as opposed to 8th or 9th inning. The other thing is, it's starting to actually, and this is something that I'm very appreciative of, we're finally starting to get away from the distinction of wins being a qualifying tactic for a pitcher or qualifying statistic, because you can give up 6 runs, and if your bats scored 8 runs, you still get the win. That doesn't always reflect on you as a good pitcher. So some of the more dominant pitchers, and Jacob deGrom is a perfect example. It's not his fault he ended up playing for the Mets. I mean, well, it's his fault he stayed with the Mets, but you get my point. Him being in New York kind of counts against him as far as the possibility, if only history tells us that much. We got to take another break. We'll wrap up when we come back. Stick around.